Hi, everybody. It's Tim Constantine for the Washington Times, joined for America by Dave Bozell. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Tim. Happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter to you, my friend. There's a gentleman who was scooped up and sent away by mistake. We're told.
Yeah.
By mistake. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is his name. Mr. Garcia is a father. He is a resident of the state of Maryland. He's a wonderful man, or that is the story being told by the Democrats.
Right.
The Republicans see it a little differently, and the Justice Department has actually released files that show he was involved with MS-13, the violent gang, and has a rap sheet, I'm told. I don't know the man. All I know is what each side is saying.
Yeah.
But they're very, very different things. Let's talk the reality of this. If a court says he has to come home, does the president need to follow that? But the second half of my question is, politically, if you're a Democrat, do you want to argue on behalf of bringing an MS-13 gang member who's done time back to the United States?
Well, to answer your first question, no. The president clearly thinks he does not have to listen to the court in this instance. The answer to the second question is apparently the Democrats think this is wise political maneuvering. If I were a Democrat donor, I would be asking for the heads of every single Democratic communication professional that thought it was a wise idea for the senator of Maryland to go down to El Salvador groveling for the release of this gangster. Meanwhile, a Maryland citizen, a real one, a legit one, a woman, Rachel Marine, brutally raped and murdered. She was from Maryland. And the networks have covered Garcia 66 minutes this week to Rachel's rape and murder to 0. Okay? Why Senator Von Hollen thought it was necessary to go down there and grovel to no one, to sit in a tarmac, to get rebuffed by the El Salvadorian government. Why someone thought that was a good idea, I have no idea. But Democrats politically keep making these mistakes. Okay, now you know why your approval numbers are in the 20s, and I would bet you come Easter, come next week, it'll be less than 20.
Yeah, it's crazy because the storyline here is, father of two scooped up and sent away to this horrible prison in El Salvador. But it appears the question as to the mistake that was made was not a mistake that we just went in the wrong apartment and picked the wrong guy. That's not the mistake.
Right.
There was a technical glitch, if you will, on the court order that said, okay, he can't be deported yet. Now, there wasn't a question that he was a questionable guy, a bad guy.
Right.
There wasn't a question about whether or not he had involvement with gangs. There wasn't a question about any of those details. It was a technical glitch. So why you would stake your flag on this hill?
Not sure.
I'm not sure.
Tim, I can't explain it. I really can't. Look, I didn't have any love for the stunt that Senator Booker pulled, doing this 25-hour long filibuster. But that choice was a hell of a lot better than what they're choosing now. Essentially, the entire Democratic apparatus is doing a filibuster on behalf of this gangster who, in Nashville, I believe it was trafficking other illegals. That was another part of his rap sheet. In the United States, it boggles the mind strategically and just as communications professionals, I just don't understand it at all. I think their numbers are going to suffer as a result of it. They continue to show how out of touch they are. This is what the president ran on. The president ran on deporting bad guys. Okay, and so he's following through on this promise. Technical glitches be damned. And so I just for the life of me, I can't understand the Democrat choices here.
You may remember a guy named Willie Horton. When Mike Dukakis ran for president of the United States in 1988, Mike Dukakis had lowered the amount of time that prisoners had to stay in prison in the state of Massachusetts, and they let all kinds of violent felons out early. Willie Horton was one of them, and he got out early and he killed someone.
Yeah.
And that was a big issue in that presidential race. Mike Dukakis was soft on crime. Mike Dukakis let this guy out early. That woman would still be alive if it wasn't for releasing Willie Horton early. And I think of that every time I see anything about the Garcia story. Is I think, boy, this has the opportunity for the Democrats to be Willie Horton on steroids. If they bring this guy back and he goes out on the street, there's an extraordinarily high likelihood that he will be involved in crime because that's how he's lived his entire life. And that story is political gold if you're running against someone who lobbied in favor of bringing him back to the United States.
Right. Not only that, Tim, you just really cannot get more anti-American than ignoring this rape and murder of this wonderful young woman by an illegal migrant, by the way, just flat out ignoring it. And then someone else from Maryland, not a constituent, not a citizen. That's just how the press is trying to muddy the waters. Maryland native Garcia, accidentally deported. No, he's an El Salvadorian citizen. You just can't get any more anti-American than this. I mean, you are basically, Senator Van Hollen just might as well just apply to be the senator from El Salvador. That's how strongly I feel about it.
Maybe. I'm looking forward to the Senate run in the new state of Gaza down the road, too, by the way, once Trump establishes his plan. For America, he is Dick Moselle. I'm Tim Constantine from the Washington Times. Thank you.